Sanbonan, trig equation. Now, trig equation, trigonometric equations. Think about, if you think about trig equations, what's the first thing that will come to your mind? That, okay, it means that if they are quadratic equations and everything else, it means that trig equations falls in a particular form on its own, which is, you are correct. Now, trig equations will say solve the equation or solve for theta, beta, etc., or x, whatever, or find the general solution of. Now, remember, the trig equation often starts by involving compound and double angle formulas and then leads to 5 types of trig equations. So there are actually 5 types of trig equations. So right now we'll be looking at 2 of those trig equations. So hopefully this video can assist a lot of people out there that are in need of such assistance. So without wasting your time, let's carry right along. We apparently have somebody in need of a solution. So they sent a few questions. They said plot graphs. They said find the general solution to these equations. So we'll be focusing on basically the general solutions of the equation, right? Because remember, the questions will say solve the equation or solve for beta, theta, x, or find the general solution of the equation. So this is that part, find the general solution of the equation. So let's start by looking at, basically we have 5 types of equations. We'll look at the equation that we are tackling for the day, which is now the one trig ratio, right, equals to a number. So the one trig ratio, meaning the angle, equals to a number. So now we are given a particular question. It's good and well that somebody sent us homework. However, we cannot do your homework for you. So what we are going to do is we are going to help you to do your homework for yourself by teaching you at least 2 of the 5 trig equations. So let's go right ahead. The one trig equation, we'll be looking at 2 as well. 2, it's the trig equations of the form a sine theta is equals to b cos theta. So remember, we have the trig equations of other forms as well. So I'm not gonna go into those trig equations where you require factorizing and so forth, right? I'm gonna just stick to these 2. So let's go right ahead. I'm gonna put down I'm gonna now put down an equation which hopefully can be able to assist our candidates right here. So hopefully you will be assisted, and let's go right ahead and look at your question. So right here, firstly, when I look at this first equation, the first thing that comes to my mind is to distribute the sign into the bracket. So that's the first thing that, however, I'm not going to do any of these questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write an equation. So the first one I'm going to do, I said I was going to do the one trig ratio. I'm not going to do that one. Remember, you have the one trig ratio. You have the equation of the form a sine theta is equals to b cos theta. So that's the one we are going to do. So let's say a question comes and says, find the general solution of, let me write of now, not this, but this. Let's go 2, let's say maybe 2 sine theta and minus 3 cos theta is equals to 0. So let's say you have a form like this. So what do you do to solve such an equation? So now the first thing that you should think about is to write the equation as in A sine theta equals B cos theta. So because in actual fact, your equation form says A sine theta equals to B cos theta. So that's what you need to write. I did not write that down, but then if you join our sessions, you will get all the notes. They are available for all the students to download online on our website. So just join our network and then you will get that information. So for now, I will show you how you can then start solving this problem. So firstly, you will transpose the negative 3 cos theta to the other side, and you will therefore have your 2 sine theta equals to 3 cos theta, right? So once you are at this step, that's when you will then start looking at ways to solve this particular equation. Now I'm thinking, okay, if I divide by cos on this side, this will turn into a 10. So divide by cos theta to get 10 theta. So that's what you need to do. So both sides, let me say both sides, I'm going to divide by cos theta. Also divide this side by cos theta. And the result will be simple. This side cos theta cancels that side, right? So here you are left with what? With your 2 cos theta over sine theta over cos theta, that's 10. 2 tan theta. That's for me. But anyway, the rules also state the fact that sine over cos is 10. So this side I'll have a 3. So we are actually moving forward with this. As you can see, 2 tan theta is equals to 3. Now, once you are at this point, you need to isolate now. Isolate. Let's say we isolate the tan theta. We need the tan theta to be on its own. So what we do is we divide both sides by 2. And then we then have our 10. Clearly 3 over 2. So 10 equals to 3 over 2. Now you have isolated the tan theta. Now what you need to do, the next step is to calculate. I do not have, unfortunately, the means to calculate. So I will then say question mark. I'm leaving that for you. So what you will do thereafter is you will have your theta equals to whatever you got, right? Whatever you got in the calculation, which is the, right? Whatever you got in the calculation plus K 180 degrees. Sorry about that. 180 degrees. So, and remember to always put in your K is an element of Z. K is an element of Z. So right now we have actually tried to help you be able to understand some of the problems that you will be facing on this one. Hopefully that helped. Now I will do another question for you. However, I am not going to be answering your homework, so please bear with me. The one trig ratio equals to number. I'm going to give you a very quick question. So the question, firstly, let me just put it down like this. Normally, the one trig ratio questions normally come up as a solve question. Solve. Now it would say maybe solve, let me say solve 4. I'm gonna put it down. Theta, let's say elements or theta within this range, 90 degrees to 360. You see, this looks like an X, this looks like a Y. Remember your functions and whatnot. So what happens is your equation is that solve for that in this equation, 4 cos 2 theta plus 10 degrees close bracket equals 2 square root of 3. Okay, once you have done this, now you start looking at your equation, you ask yourself where to start. Now remember what you're trying to isolate. You see, you're looking for the cos. That cos is your thing, so you will then have to divide both sides by what? By 4. Both sides you divide them by 4. So this side, the left hand side, you will definitely have your cos in bracket. You still have your 2 theta plus 10, and on the other side, 2 goes once, 2 goes twice in there. So you have your, maybe let's say your root 3 over 2, right? So once you get to this point, then everything becomes interesting, because now you can actually calculate. So once you have done your calculation, you should come up with a certain number, right? So once you have come up with that certain degree, right, you will then have to use the following method, where whatever is inside the cos 2 theta plus 10 will lead your cos right now. So what you do is you put down the 2 cos theta plus 10 degrees. Remember where you got this from, is equals to, now you start putting down your formula as per your formula sheet. So 30 degrees, which is what you got from the calculation. So the 30 degrees is what you got from the plus K 360. K 360 degrees. So once you are at this point, you know that you're moving forward, because right now you can start solving. How do you start solving this type of equation? Because you want to isolate the theta. Typically what you do is you would have your 2 theta on one side and then transpose. So let's say 2 theta, then you transpose the 10, then you will have your this one. I believe once the 10 has been swallowed by the 30, it will be 20. So the 10 will be negative once you transpose it. Therefore 20 plus, I still have the K360, right, as is. K360. Once I've done this, then I can see that, okay, I want to isolate the theta. What do I do? Then I have to divide by 2, clearly, because this is isolated. So this side will be divided. So say I make a line like this, divide by 2. Remember, these are 2 separate terms. Therefore, this divides by 2 and that divides by 2. So what's that divided by 2? It's theta. What's that divided by 2? It's 10. Plus, what's that divided by 2? Is 180. So you see, once you are at this point, you know you've collected a few critical points in your exam. For your homework, I'm sure this will be of much assistance to you. Remember, there's more than one method of solving this, and for now we have done the best we could to help you out with your homework, right? So this is it for us. Enjoy your evening, and good luck.